wrote a good opinion piece on the Wall Street Journal about the private listing network. 30%. That's how many listings at America's biggest brokerage you can't find right now. Not on Zillow, not on Realtor.com, not anywhere. And some of you don't even know that this was happening. Compass is keeping a growing share of its homes in what they call a private exclusive or private exclusives. Only Compass agents and their buyers get access. And that's according to this opinion piece here. They pitch it as a giving sellers more control type of thing. But Zillow studied millions of sales and found that sellers who skip the MLS lose about $5,000 per home. In California, that number is $30,000. You either believe this protects sellers or you believe it protects the brokerage. Compass actually sued Zillow over this, said Zillow was a monopoly for requiring listings to be shared openly. A federal judge threw it out. Couldn't even prove Zillow had monopoly power. The industry just paid $418 million in the NAR settlement because the old system was built to serve agents over clients. And now the biggest brokerage in the country is building a new version of that same wall.
All right, so private exclusives are not your friend. Remember that. They have a purpose. They have a need for a specific set of homeowners that want to sell their properties off market. I totally understand that. You might want to have privacy. You might not just want to have people coming through and thumbing through your house. But understand, in California, that's taking away $30,000 out of your pocket as a home seller just so that you can have that. So is it a good thing or not? I don't know. You tell me. All right, let's get into this. Sellers are pulling their homes off the market at near record rates. 5.8 all across U.S. homes are taking off market. That means 6% of homes that get listed are not being sold right now. They're being sold, they're being taken off either by expired, cancellation, or withdrawn because they're frustrated with the results, right? A lot of it is because homes are taking longer to sell because of affordability. Rates are high, and it makes it even more affordable because 6 years ago we had historically low rates, and now we're still playing catch up. Playing catch up because we're waiting for either rates to come down, prices to come down, or income to go up to match where those prices were. When you have an artificially low interest rate or some other incentive for people to go out and buy houses, and then what happens, it becomes a bidding frenzy and people put $300,000 and $400,000 over list price. Happens all the time. If your house is properly marketed and priced and it's in decent condition, your house will sell. And when it's a firestorm, it doesn't matter what it looks like. Period. Inventory is rising faster than the demand. It's true. If your house hasn't sold in 30 days, it's because of price. We'll go into this in a minute, but I can tell you right now that some of my houses that aren't selling are because the price is not where the market requires it to be. Period. Tried 2 or 3 times and you're like, yeah, well, I'm still not going to sell, because some sellers still have pandemic era price expectations. Pricings contract, pricings expand. Sometimes when you take a listing and you time it poorly, as I did on a couple of listings, your houses will not sell. There's nothing you can do. You can have open house after open house after open house. I can spend tens of thousands of dollars sending out marketing and advertising, etc. And if you're not getting an offer or you're getting lowball offers, it's because your house is in the condition you thought it was. Economic uncertainty is making both buyers and sellers cautious. Yep. I mean, I don't know where else to go with it. Delisting can be a strategic reset. I tried that with the listing that we're going to look at in December, and we put it back on market, and it still hasn't sold because, I don't know, because pricing. We didn't have it staged. They chose not to stage it, whatever reason. Delisting is most common in Atlanta. Bay Area homeowners are relisting at a high rate, 4.2 in San Francisco, 3.8 in Boston. Oakland is 3.7. followed where San Jose has 4.1 are being relisted right now. Now these numbers are dynamic, so you can go and try to look for those numbers again, and those numbers will be different, but just keep that in mind. All right. I think we're between a rock and a hard spot, and if you need to sell your house, if you're waiting for a great price, this is not the time to do it. Period. If you're in probate, estate sales, if you're putting your parents into an adult community and you need help with getting everything done and who to talk to, let me know. That's what we do. We help you work with lawyers as well as accountants, as well as escrow, as well as the county, so you know exactly what's going on. We do it in a specific way so that you're not overwhelmed, and all the while where we're getting your house ready to sell or package up so you can rent it or you can move in. So let me know if you're interested. You can always just give me a call. Cupertino House of the Week is Cass Place, 10198 Cass Place, not my listing. This is listed at $3 million. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,100 square feet, built in 1975. Let's take a look inside. Completely remodeled, right? New floors, new cans. I wouldn't say completely. That's an old ass oven. They put the silestone type. So this kitchen was remodeled a while back, and you can tell. But it's still going to get it because $3 million for a house in Cupertino, it's awesome. How can you say no? Look at that backyard. It's beautiful. At least it's not a flip. What you get for, where is this? This is Willow Glen. We're at Arbor Drive, 1.575. Not my listing. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet. This is a great deal. Let's take a look inside real quick. And yes, it's not exactly walking distance to Lincoln, but it is what it is, right? It's not a busy street. Oh yeah, original kitchen. Nothing bad about it. It still works, right? Here you go. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to complain about. And then luxury home of the week is Pine Hill Road, not my listing. $40 million, 8-bedroom, 10-bath, 13,000 square feet, built in 2025. And this is where it is if you want to look at it on the map, between 101, El Camino, and 280. So yeah, it's a beautiful house. It's also like, how many acres? 2.7 or 2.4 acres, or 2.5 acres, really. Rounding up, rounding error. So yeah. Guys, I think you should buy this. This is a beautiful house. Let's go take a look at it today. Let me know when you're available and we will go look at this thing. It's beautiful. Look at this. And it's nice. You did a nice floor plan. Thank you so much. I know that this was an architectural drawing. This is nice though. Thank you for doing this. Okay, so let's take a look inside of this house, right? You do 360, you do the floor plan, you do photos, we do a little hover around. On market 91 days, we tried to have this thing on the auction block and it just did not sell. Why? Because it's overpriced. They can't go any lower, unfortunately, so they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard spot. See how we do nice floor plans? This is a 3-level. That's the garage. That's the garage. There's a bedroom down here. It's actually a 4-bedroom, but because there's no bathroom down there, it's scheduled as a 3-bedroom. We're calling it a 3-bedroom. But it's a nice house. Guys, there's nothing wrong with it. It's good HOA, even though I'm not a fan of HOAs. So there you go. If you're thinking about selling your house, let's get your stuff fixed up and ready to go before we do it. I'll tell you right now, I'm trading over a new leaf. If you come at me and say, I'm not going to do half of the things that you recommend, I'm probably going to drop you as a client, because when you don't listen and I tell you this is what you need to get to this price, and then you do half of that, all you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot and making me frustrated. And I can't promise you a rainbow bridge to your heavenly spot unless you understand that I have to take certain steps. So yeah, that's a little rant. Keep sticking around because we're going to do months of inventory because that's updated now. Alameda, doing really well. look, Alameda, that starts with Fremont, right? They've had 3,200 sales so far, and their average sales price is 1.4. That's all the way up to Oakland and Dublin and all over the place, but it's still a nice area. Alameda County is a nice area. Fremont's probably going to be a little more expensive, but you go up a little bit further and you have very affordable houses. And a lot of homes are being sold up there because some people have to make that trek. They just can't afford a $2.5 million house in Santa Clara County. So if you're interested in affordability and a nice house, you don't have to spend $1.4 million. You can buy a house under $1 million. I have houses on actually Regencies in Hayward. I have some other ones a little bit lower than that, and they're coming on sale. And if you're interested in looking at them, by golly, let's take a look. All right. Marin, average price is $2.4 million. San Mateo is 2.8. San Francisco is catching up. San Francisco is doing this a massive rebound. I don't know exactly what's happening, but they beat out Santa Clara County this week in median sales price. Crazy, right? And of course, San Benito gets pooped on. Poor San Benito, they have only sold 200 homes this year. That's a week for Santa Clara County. It's crazy. And the same thing with Solano. They sold 89 houses so far this week. They've had 1,500 sales. And Solano, even though it's a longer trek, if you don't have to come into the county into Santa Clara County every day, that might be a good viable value for you. It's a good area to live. And here's the months of inventory, and we're seeing things slow down. We're seeing these numbers tend to trickle up a little bit overall. So if you're interested in learning more about this and how I do it, just give me a call. I'm happy to walk you through any of that data that I sent you. And in the comments down below, you'll